Hello guys, this is Divya and I'm back with another episode of Personalities. Today we will be discussing about former, Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh. Before I begin, I would like to request you to subscribe Vysh IAS channel if you haven't yet. Also, press the bell notification so that you never miss an update. And it is highly requested that you watch all the foundational videos, which are very crucial for for all your doubt clearance. And if you have any query, definitely it will you know clear all your doubts, all your queries. And hope you have joined the test series, which was a paid one, because there are many students who are getting benefited by it, right? So now let us begin. So Manmohan Singh, he is, as you know, he's an Indian politician, and he's also an economist, right, and a statesman. He became the 13th Prime Minister of India from 2004 to 2014, and he is the third longest serving Prime Minister after Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi, and he became the first Sikh Prime Minister of India. And he was also the first Prime Minister since Jawaharlal Nehru to be re-elected after completing a full term. Indira Gandhi didn't, consecutively became the Prime Minister. She became the Prime Minister after a gap again. There was a gap, and then she again became the Prime Minister. That's how her tenure was. But after Jawaharlal Nehru, he managed to do that for the consecutive two terms, and after that, it is Prime Minister Modi. But he hasn't completed his second term yet, right? So now let us begin. So now we'll know about his early life and education. Manmohan Singh was born in Gah, which is in Punjab, that is in current day Pakistan, Punjab province of Pakistan. His father was Gurmukh Singh, mother was Amrit Kaur. He was born on 26th of September 1932, and his schooling began in Urdu medium. And when he became prime minister, he used to write in Urdu script, but he knew the Hindi script as well, and Gurmukhi script also. So after the partition of India, his family had to migrate to India, and they settled. They came to Amritsar. He studied at Hindu College there, and then he attended Punjab University, which is in Hoshiarpur, and he studied economics. He obtained his bachelor's degree in 1952 and master's degree in 1954, obviously in economics. And he stood first. He his academic performance was very good, and then he completed his economics tripos at the University of Cambridge, which is in United Kingdom. So he completed this in 1957 and on scholarship, right? He was very brilliant, I would say. So it was on scholarship, and then he was a member of the St. John's College. And after Cambridge, he returned to India and he served as a teacher at Punjab University. In 1960, he went to the University of Oxford for doing his DPhil, and he was a member of the Newfield College there. And his doctoral thesis, that is under the supervision of IMD Little, was titled India's Export Performance 1951 to 1960, Export Prospects and Policy Implications. And this thesis later it became the basis for his book, that is India's Export Trends and Prospects for Self-Sustained Growth. And he held many prestigious positions, and that is I have listed all this. So from 1957 to 57 to 59, he was the senior lecturer of economics at Punjab University after he completed his DPhil and he returned to India. Then in 59 to 65, he became the reader and professor in Punjab University for economics. Then in 1966 to 69, he became the advisor to the Ministry of Foreign Trade by Lalit Narayan Mishra. Then from 69 to 71, he became the professor at international trade at the Delhi School of Economics, which comes under University of Delhi. Then in 1972, he became the chief economic advisor (CEA) in the Ministry of Finance. Now you have to write in the comment section who is the current chief economic advisor. Okay. Then in 1976, and also what is his role during the, when you see there is a budget, and before the budget there is some role played by especially CEA, right? You have to write that. Then in 1976, he became the secretary in the finance ministry. Then from 1980 to 1982 he joined Planning Commission. Then from 82 to 85 he became the governor of RBI. So I remember seeing some of the notes which had which used to have the signature of um, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh when he was the governor of RBI. Then in 1987 to 1990, he became the Secretary General of the South Commission, which was an independent, economic policy think tank. It was kind of think tank. It was in Geneva, Switzerland. So he moved to foreign again. Then again he returned to India in November 1990. He became the advisor to the Prime Minister, Prime Minister of India, and he advised on the economic affairs during and that time the Prime Minister was Chandrasekhar, right? And then in March 1991 he became the chairman of the UGC, that is University Grants Commission. Now his entry into political arena, so his political career. So first position, because he was a remarkable economist, he was given the position in as finance minister. So as you know, there was balance of payment crisis in 1991. India's fiscal deficit was 8.5% of the GDP, and also balance of payment crisis was there. It was deficit, the deficit was huge, and about which you should have read in the economics, especially in the 11th standard textbook. If you haven't yet, please do read that. And there are brilliant lectures are also available. You can watch those lectures in Vysh IAS channel. And also current account deficit, it came close to 3.5% of the GDP. So it was the situation was really bad. So in June 1991 he became the finance minister under the prime minister. Then prime minister was PV Narasimha Rao. So under his cabinet he became the finance minister. So PV Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh, they opened the economy and they changed India's socialist economy to a more capitalistic one, right? You know this story: liberalization, LPG reforms, all are the part of this, right? So and they dismantled the license Raj, and it removed so many obstacles which came in the way of FDI, foreign direct investment, and it led to the process of privatization of the public sector companies as well. Then his role as the leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha. So after a while in 90s there was quite of political turmoil. So he had to sit in the opposition, right? So he was first elected to the upper house, that is Rajya Sabha in 1991 from Assam, right? And he was again re-elected in 1995, 2001, 2007 and 2013. Then he went on to become the Indian Prime Minister. How? So the first term was from 2004 to 2009. So after 2004 general elections, Sonia Gandhi, who was actually the leader of UPA, the winning alliance, she declined. She declined the post, and she chose him, right? The chairperson of UPA, that is Sonia Gandhi. She declared Manmohan Singh to be the candidate of UPA for obviously for prime ministership. So he accepted that offer, and he became the prime minister, and he took the oath on 22nd of May 2004. And then let us know about his economic policies. So when Manmohan Singh became the prime minister, the finance minister was P Chidambaram, right? And then both of them, they presided over a period when the Indian economic growth was growing at 8 to 9%, right? That time this was the economic growth. And there was also I should say globally there was a boom in the economy, right, that time. But then and after that, in 2008 what happened was there was suddenly, it all got reversed. The big economies, they were crumbling due to recession, right? And India was also quite hit because of that, especially the service sector, that is IT sector, right, which were dependent on America basically, USA. So in 2007 India achieved its highest GDP growth, that is 9%. And after 2007 what happened? 2008 there was recession, global recession. So and thus India became the fastest growing economy at that time. It was part of the global boom trend also. So his ministry also enacted National Employment Guarantee Act, right? Manrega, now it is called Manrega. So this was passed in 2005 under his government, and in 2005 itself, his government introduced value added tax, that is VAT, and then which replaced the sales tax. Now, right now, his health and education policies. So in 2005, he implemented. I mean his cabinet. Uh, I mean under his chairmanship. I mean his leadership, the National Rural Health Mission. Right. This was also enacted, and this mission was implemented, and this mobilized a million community health workers. And then on 2nd July 2019, Right to Education Act, that is RTE Act, was introduced, right? And then some of the security and home affairs. So his under his leadership, UAPA, that is Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA Act was strengthened, right? The more teeth were given to this act, right? So it says that um, the strengthening of the anti-terror laws were actually, they became the anti-terror laws, they were became more strict, stringent. So there is most of the time hue and cry about, UAPA, but we should understand that at that time India was actually facing lot of challenges from terrorism, right? Terrorism was actually a big challenge, even now it is, but that time it was more, right? So that's why they had to, do this, they had to give more teeth to this act, that is UAPA Act. uh, we should understand the civil liberties also, but this that's how it was. And then, and as you remember, if you remember, in 2008 also um there was Mumbai terror attacks, right? 26/11. Most of you must be knowing that. So after that, they had to form under his government. They formed National Investigation Agency, that is NIA, and which is still working. And then also, then under his in his tenure itself, Unique Identification Authority, that is UIDAI, commonly known as Aadhaar, right? So this was also established in his tenure, that is in February 2019. Now, some of the most important legislations under his in his during his tenure. So in 2005, I have told you already, National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, that is Manrega. So this act was passed, and then there was another big act, that is an important act, which you can call Right to Fair Compensation and Transparency in Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation and Settlement Act. This was also passed. And then there was right of children to free and compulsory education, that is RTE Act, Right to Education Act, was enacted on 4th August 2009, and because of that, Article 21A was added to the Indian Constitution. Right now, his second term. So consecutively, he went on to become the Prime Minister of India. He completed one term, and then in the next term it also he became the Prime Minister, and he was the second Prime Minister to do so after Jawaharlal Nehru. Indira Gandhi could not do that. So UPA, it again formed the government. It emerged as the largest single party, largest single party, 2019 general election, right? And then on 2nd May 2009, again Manmohan Singh was sworn in as the Prime Minister of India. Then in the second term itself, so many controversies happened, and so many corruption charges were there on his alliances, like coalition governments like DMK, and so many such controversies happened. So in 2012, there was a report by CAG, which was in the parliament, and it states that the due to the allocation of coal blocks to certain private company without any bidding process, the nation, that is the exchequer, suffered an estimated loss of 1.85 trillion, right? Trillion it was. So between 2005 and 2009, and during that time Manmohan Singh was coal in charge, right? Coal minister. And Manmohan Singh also declined to appear before the Joint Parliamentary Committee, right? And in the April 2013, and he was called upon by member of the JPC, that is Yashwant Singh, for his alleged involvement in the 2G case. As you know, if I think hope all of you know about the I mean 2G spectrum case, right? There were so many big politicians involved in this, and maybe this was also one of the reasons the UPA could not come back in the power. And also there were so many scams, not just 2G scam. There was also Commonwealth Games scam and such. So there were so many, one after the other, corruption cases were emerging, and because of that, UPA could not manage to come back in 2014 general elections. So Manmohan Singh's premiership, that is as a leader, prime minister, his tenure officially ended on the noon of 17 May 2014 after the announcement of the results. And then he resigned from his post as prime minister after BJP led NDA alliance, that is National Democratic Alliance, NDA, it won the 2014 general elections. And his public image was also tarnished, because of the coalition government. In so many his coalition alliance parties were involved in the corruption cases, and he was accused of of being involved in them and remaining silent also. Even if he wasn't involved, he remained silent and he didn't do anything, right? So he was also being accused of various corruption scandals, right, since the start of his second term. So with this, we have come and end to this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do like and share these videos as much as you can, right? We'll meet in the next one. Thank you.